In the first demo, we'll look into the problem of market entry strategy formulation. And here's the detail, the context. So for our ASU entrepreneurship class, we're planning a late night snack delivery service specifically for students living in the dorms, okay? With focus on snacks and drinks from local non-chain businesses around Tempe. We need a market entry strategy to understand dorm residents' late night cravings. See how services like DoorDash and Uber Eats serve this specific niche, and create a unique launch plan using campus social media to get our first customers. So this is what a user needs. That's explicitly stated. Okay? Using the Cognitive Foundry tool platform, would like to generate a high-level market entry strategy by analyzing the market and the competition, then synthesizing a unique position and creating an initial action plan. Okay, so let's see how we can implement this using the Cognitive Foundry platform. First up, you have to create a new project. So I'm gonna name it as the Market Entry Strategy Formulation. Okay. I already typed in, that's why it popped up, but on your screen, I think you have to manually type in Market Entry Strategy Formulation. You can leave description box empty as it's an optional one. Then hit Create button. All right, then you begin to see a root agent. Okay, that is basically an orchestrate. The main agent that orchestrates a team of special agents, if you will. Okay. And before we define what a root agent is, let me remind you, this is the system architecture or the agent architecture we are considering and we aim to build. So in this system, there are basically three agents. One, research phase. Two, strategy synthesis. Three, action plan agent. So would like to run each of these agents in a sequential manner. I'm going to start up by running research phase, and then using the output from the research phase and feeding that into the strategy synthesis agent, and then it will spit out the strategy that is fitting to this problem and the context. Accordingly, at the last phase, it crafts a action plan. So that is the flow at the high level. And if you look closely, what is going on within the research phase, there are actually two sub-agents that are attached to it. One, market research agent, the other, competitor analysis agent, that are conducted in parallel. So basically what we aim to build is a small multi-agent system that utilizes not only sequential agents, research, strategy synthesis, and action plan, but also parallel agents, market research and competitor analysis that are done in tandem. So this workflow first runs market competitor research in parallel, then sequentially feeds those findings into a strategy analyst or a strategy agent, and finally an action plan agent. Okay, does that make sense? That's the big picture. That's the architecture we would like to build together using the Cognitive Foundry platform. All right, so the first up, the root agent, and I'm gonna copy the description from the document that I already shared with you. This is basically the master strategist for a new product launch. And its job is to manage a team of special agents, like a sub-agents, to build a solid market entry plan. Okay. And it relies on a sequential tasks, right? So we're gonna choose the sequential agent. Okay. The first element on this sequence is what? The research phase, if you recall. So we're gonna create the first one, the research phase. I mean, again, the reason why it popped out on my screen was I already typed in earlier, but on your screen, nothing will pop up, so you have to manually type this name, research phase, okay? And it is on the standard LLM agent, and hit add sub-agent. Great, that is the first one. And what was the second agent on this sequence? You remember? Let me bring back the Word document. The second one is strategy synthesis. So I'm going to scroll down on my Word document, and here you go to this box and type in strategy synthesis. That's the name of the sub-agent and standard LLM agent, and create this new sub-agent. And you begin to see an arrow is, the information or the data flows from research phase to, and is feeding into the strategy synthesis. Okay, that makes sense. And what was the last sub-agent on this sequence? Action plan agent. So you type in action plan. Actually, I need to type in as well. Action plan. There you go. Action plan agent, and add it. And if I zoom out a little bit, and you get to see entire picture of these 3 sub-agents in sequence. But note that I haven't defined what each of these sub-agents are supposed to do. And I haven't designed and implemented the parallel, the simultaneous tasks that need to be done within the research phase, like competitor analysis or the market analysis. I mean, those are not implemented or configured yet. So let's do it one at a time. So I'm going to go back to the research phase agent. Okay. So I'm going to hit edit agent. And you can find its description from the document, the Word document. And here is the description section. So it executes both market research and competitor analysis tasks at the same time. Okay. And which agent type should we utilize to that end? We are performing at least 2 tasks at the same time, so we are using parallel agents. So I'm going to hit parallel. And on this whiteboard, we have to populate and create these 2 parallel tasks. So the first one is named what? Market research agent. Okay. And then the second one is, it is competitor analysis. So I'm going to type in competitor analysis. Note that, there is no arrow with, points connecting one box to another with the other box, because they are done in parallel. There's no particular order. Okay. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So this is competitor, and this is what? Oh, did I name it correctly? Some reason, it was not typed in properly, so it's market research. Okay. So whenever you want to go back, move up, display up the tree or the structure, you go to this directory and hit the one immediately above. Then it gives you, right, the eagle-eyes view. All right, so market research agent, have we defined is the description and instruction, provided the instruction? No, we haven't. So description, what it does is it gathers and summarizes data about the target market using real-time web searches, okay? And we assign a specific role to this sub-agent by saying, you are a market analyst. Based on the user's query, use the Google search tool, like external search tool, to research the target market. Identify key market trends, target customer demographics, and the overall market size. And at the end, produce a concise summary of your findings. Okay? And it's important, we have to note the specific name for the output from this market research agent. So I'm gonna name it as market summary. That is the output from this sub-agent. Are we using any external tools to that end? Yes, we would like to use Google search. So I'm gonna click Google search. Once you're done, go back to the directory and click the immediately above one. And now you see the description of this sub-agent, the market research sub-agent. And let's do the same for the competitor analysis sub-agent. So hit edit agent, and I'm gonna copy its description from the Word document. Identifies and summarizes key competitors in the target market using web searches, okay? So you can guess, yeah, we're gonna use Google search again. And here's the specific instruction. You are a competitive intelligence specialist. Based on the user's query, use the Google search tool to identify the top 4, what 3 competing brands in the target market. For each, briefly list their main strengths and potential weaknesses and synthesize this into a short report, right? And then report should be saved as what? You have to name it. Competitor summary, just like in a market summary for the market research agent. And are we allowing the Cognitive Foundry to use external search tools? Yes. So hit Google search. I think that's about it. So go back to the previous directory and I guess they look good. Okay. And I'm gonna go even move up the directory one more time. And now, the research phase rectangular is in different color, in pink, than the other boxes, agents, as this is a parallel agent, whereas these two are sort of individual, LLM agents. All right, so what's left? We haven't defined the description and instruction for the last 2 agents. So I'm gonna start up with strategy synthesis. So what's its description? Basically, synthesizes the market and competitor research into a single clear strategic position. Okay, simple enough. And here are the details. Okay, I'm gonna copy paste onto this. So here's the role we are assigning. You're a chief strategist. Okay, review the market data, which is stored in what? In the output from the market research sub-agent. And that was already stored in market summary. So that's why we, use this double brackets to indicate that this particular information that was already stored in the output from the preceding agents. And then the competitive landscape, again, that information is already produced and stored in this output, using this output key, competitor summary. And based on this, define a unique value proposition or strategic gap in the market. Formulate this as a clear single paragraph statement that explains how our brand can win. Okay, clear enough. And does this strategy synthesis agent generate any output? Yes. The single paragraph statement about how to win, right? So we're gonna save that using this output key, strategic position. So that is the name of it. I think that's about it. So I'm gonna move up the directory. So I'm done with the strategy synthesis sub-agent. And now move on to the last one, the action plan. So edit agent and description. Okay, create a high-level actionable plan based on the defined strategy. Okay, and here's the specific instructions. You are a launch coordinator. Based on the core strategy, which was saved as strategic position, create a simple 3-step action plan to guide the initial market entry. The steps should be high level and focus on brand awareness, initial distribution, and customer engagement. And it is optional, but we're gonna save the output as what? Launch plan. I think that's about it. So I'm gonna move up the directory, root agent. By the way, in order to see the entirety of the agent architecture, hit this small icon here, and it gives you the entire configuration tree. So we have root agent, which is sequential, and phase 1, we have research phase, and then phase 2, strategy synthesis, and phase 3, action plan. Okay? And within research phase, there are 2 parallel tasks, market research and competitor analysis. Looking good. Think you're ready. So agent architecture is in place. Now it's time to put it into action. So click execute agent. And this, within this box, this is where you either type in or copy and paste the original user query. Remember, this is the original user statement. Right? We are planning a late night snack delivery service. Right? And here are some restrictions and preferences. Okay? And using the agent architecture you just built, let's see what this agent architecture had to say. So hit this execute agent button. It may take, several seconds actually. So let's just hang tight and see where it's taking us. And you know what? Time to time, as this is, preliminary version, the results may not appear as a whole. So what I suggest is whenever this happens, you don't necessarily much of the results by clicking this box. You don't see nothing. Then just refresh the link. I know this particular issue will be resolved by the time you actually do it, but at the moment it is still the issue, but it will be addressed within a couple days. So rest assured, you're not gonna face this problem, but I'm still facing it, but I know how to fix it. So I'm gonna go back to execute agent, and you know what? Here's the result. And you can see by looking at the number of steps at the bottom of this panel, the 4 steps. Hit this, click this, and these are the 4 steps. So competitor analysis, market research, strategy synthesis, and action plan. And each of these steps are expandable. And the first step, the competitor analysis. So it has identified, per our instruction, like 4 to 5 competitors. I'm not going to go into details, but you can immediately see, who are the main competitors. And then what are the market entry strategy considerations? Okay, so that is the output from competitor analysis. And from the market research front, it has done, let's say, who are the target customer? What are their demographics and cravings? And what's the competitive landscape like? What are the market opportunities and unique selling propositions and launch plan, right? All these things are already researched by market agent, sub-agent. Sorry, market research sub-agent. And then the strategy synthesis, this is the output from it. Our late night dorm snack delivery service will win by strategically filling the unmet need for a curated, convenient, and locally sourced late night snacking experience specifically for ASU dorm residents, differentiating ourselves from broad delivery platforms, and so on and so forth. And at the end, you see a very clear step-by-step action plan. So step 1, brand awareness. Step 2, initial distribution. And step 3, customer engagement. How does that sound? There are a lot you can internalize, right? So, this is the beauty of this Cognitive Foundry platform is you can make any necessary changes by going back to your agent architecture. You can, deepen your research by modifying some of the agents, or you can expand the action plan even by offering specific instruction. Say, I want, not just 3 to 4 steps, but like a 10-step plan, right? Or you can simply update the initial queries when you execute the agent architecture, the multi-agent system. So this was the original query, but you can certainly modify it or update it with a new product, new service, or new target location, and the system will generate a different strategy. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoy it and learn as much as you want, explore as much as you want, and looking forward to your feedback.